Good morning and good afternoon. Hello, this is David Taylor Klaus, and this is Mindset Mondays with DTK, episode 38. And looking forward to playing together today. So just a reminder, Mindset Mondays is part of a year-long project giving folks with a growth mindset or those who want to create one the opportunity to play with new ideas and new concepts. So if you'll take a moment and click share just below this video and add and invite your friends and your community and your colleagues to the conversation. All right, so let's play. So here's the playground today. At any time, you can reinvent your life. You can rethink your life and reinvent yourself. Again, at any time, you can rethink your life and reinvent yourself. So, every time I see the word reinvent, I go back to the technology company that Beth and I started back in '95. There were so many times that we had to reinvent our company and reinvent our business and reinvent ourselves. And the word sort of got tossed around sort of willy-nilly, right? The whole idea of reinventing. And during the early .com lunacy, people are constantly reinventing their model, reinventing their business, reinventing. And that was really just a matter of, in most of those cases, completely retrenching and going back to do the thinking and the planning that wasn't really effectively done at the beginning. And not to minimize any of the effort and any of the success. It was remarkable. And I think we sort of used the word, we use the word too lightly, too easily. I think it was just tweaking. And I love the way we look at that word now. And I was, as you saw in what I wrote to invite folks to this, on our last tour run, taking our youngest to look at colleges, one of the things we heard during the info session was that, it was at Brandeis, that the predictions are that this year's graduating high school class will have 7 careers in their lifetime. Now, part of that is they're going to be living a lot longer than our generation. And part of that is the work landscape has changed dramatically. 7 careers in their lifetime. Yeah, not jobs, not 7 jobs. 7 careers. And here's the cool part. 3 of those careers haven't even been conceived of or invented yet. And that makes sense. I mean, look, when I graduated from college, not even high school, when I graduated from college, the internet hadn't been invented yet, right? Machines were being linked on campuses at best, but what we know is the internet now, ubiquitous access, that wasn't even begun to be conceived of until the early 90s. I've had 2 of my careers were in areas that didn't exist when I graduated from college. For that matter, I'm not even sure that coaching in its current form really did at that point. So, not surprising. That really is, for me, kind of reaffirming and really encouraging. These kids don't have to figure out what the hell they want to do for the rest of their lives, walking into college knowing exactly what major they want, let alone leaving college knowing exactly what they want to do. It's really, what are they going to do next? We have that same ability. There's not a single point which we have to figure out what we want to do for the rest of our lives. It's what we want to do next. Right? How can we rethink what's happening and what can we do next? What do we want to do next? What do we want to play with next? Right? This is a different playground. It's a different time. It's a different arena. There is an incredible amount of possibility. Right? The future isn't written merely needing to be walked through. No, we get to create it. The future is waiting for us to create it. What do we want to do next? How do we want to reinvent ourselves? I mean, little less than a dozen years ago, Elaine and I both went through a complete reinvention. Leaping into coaching and being coaches changed the way we lived our lives, changed the way we parented, changed the way we partnered, it changes the way we work. It changes the way we think. It was a complete reinvention. Yeah, the quote today is Denise Pitre, who says, "At any time you can rethink your life and reinvent yourself." The rest of the quote goes on, "Choose your words better and say or affirm exclusively what you aspire to create in your life. Dare to dream, dare to stand out, get off the beaten path." I'll put that into the panel. This is what the last bit of that quote says. Dare to dream, dare to stand out, get off the beaten path. Given how quickly things have been changing while we're doing whatever we're doing now, there's ample opportunity to step off the beaten path. Such rich opportunity for reinvention, for complete shift, for a remarkable change. At any time you can rethink your life. Well, isn't that exactly what coaching is, right? Giving people the opportunity to rethink their lives. Giving them the opportunity to change the lens, to look at things differently. Yes, everybody could benefit from coaching, and more importantly, everyone can benefit from rethinking their lives, to step back and look at it with a broader view, an objective eye, without judgment. Just look. What's working, what's not. And rethink it. Try on new perspectives. What ifs? Right? You look at it differently. Look at it objectively, without the filters that we've laid on it, what our parents would think, what our community would think, what our kids would think, what our grandkids would think. How about, what do you think? In a perfect world, how would you reinvent yourself? If you dared to dream and dared to stand out, if you leapt off the beaten path, where would you land? What would your reinvention look like? I'm like a million questions raging through my head. What could be different? How would you recreate yourself? How would you reinvent yourself? I mean, a number of folks that are here every week have had so many things change for them over the last year. Created new jobs, new families, new relationships, new career paths. Really is a remarkable group of humans that show up here every week. I mean, anybody watching this, it's what's possible for you if you take the time, when you take the time to pause and look and consider, what could you create? Anytime you can rethink your life, just the simple act of pausing and thinking. Just the simple act of looking at possibility. Well, if you're a Red Sox fan or a Dodgers fan, you're already sleeping less, Lawrence. And all kidding aside, It's amazing putting the time, the effort, and the energy in to rethinking and reinventing one's life. Yeah, there's nothing like change and shift and leaning into possibility to invigorate you. You might sleep less, but you also sit still less. Yeah, back to the Robert Frost poem. I think it was the first one I memorized, Ellie. Two paths diverged into the woods. I took the road less traveled, and that has made all the difference. But for most folks, taking a path is different before even choosing. But that's the possibility, is to choose, to take a path, right? To take a path out of stasis, to take a different path than the one you're already traveling on. It's so rich with opportunity. And yeah, so that's really a cool point, Jody. Jody says she thinks of it more as evolution rather than reinvention. And yeah, the language, everybody's language is different, right? You know, evolving into the next thing, moving into the next incarnation. Absolutely. So for some, it's evolution. For some, it's reinvention. And those are all ways that people see shift, whichever works for you, whichever language lands better. And that is the piece. It is nothing more than being a choice. We all have the opportunity to choose. Right? There's certain things that are currently immutable, time, gravity. It's only because we haven't found ways to choose something different in those arenas. That's based on our current understanding. And yet, everything around us, we have the opportunity to choose what we believe, what we think, how we do what we do. Getting that opportunity, just that power that comes with the recognition that we are at choice. Well, if we're at choice, then we can choose something different. And that may just be how simple it is, right? That to reinvent ourselves is merely that first baby step. What's that first littlest step you can take? Is to recognize that you are at choice. Being at choice is the invitation for you that's needed. That's the needed invitation to think differently and therefore to choose differently. So that's the invitation for this week, is to take that baby step, to that first step, that first skill to take on is merely recognizing that you are at choice. And from there is the opportunity to think differently, to choose differently, to reinvent your life, to reinvent what you will do or be or have next. So between now and next week, the question is, what mindset will you choose?